I have made maybe 30 or 50 characters in OG Oblivion, but finished the main quest only 4 or 5 times. The reason for this is because I keep restarting whenever I have a new build idea. And in the remaster, I have now created 3 characters while the game has been out for not even a week yet. So now I just want to share one of the characters that I've created because I think some might find it fun also. But before anything else, please note that this is more of a roleplay build instead of an efficient, powerful, and optimized one. And by roleplay build, I really mean you'll have to immerse yourself into the character and play in a specific way, even maybe ignore the main quest. If you don't get what I'm saying, that's fine. Watch ahead and hope you appreciate this roleplay build.
Did you stream that? I want a percentage on your best goblin death compilation.
So this build is inspired by Styx in the Styx game series. You will play as a smirky talking goblin who loves to steal and doesn't really care about anything else. I've broken this build down into parts so that you can easily move from one aspect of the build to another. Let's start with the character background. So you will be playing as Styx, the first goblin, the first intelligent and talking goblin. You're somewhat cold and don't care much for the affairs of man, as long as they stay away from you. You have no problem killing anyone since you're a goblin, but you have to rely mostly on stealth due to your natural weakness, especially against trained combatants. As you awoke, the memories of your past is kinda blurry, and so you're unsure where you came from. All you know is that you wake up in a prison with a headache and a mission that you have totally forgotten. Were you caught for committing a crime? Were you sent in prison to do something? Did you sneak your way into the prison and now acting as a prisoner for some reason? Or are you actually you, or just a clone? All these are questions you may or may not have the answers to. For your race, since there's no goblin race, you can choose Wood Elf, since they are the smallest of all the races. Plus, you can make a goblin-looking fellow with a character builder using Wood Elf. However, you can also opt to choose Orc or other races, as long as you can make them look like a goblin. For my Wood Elf, I chose Gratwood Origin not actually for the endurance bonus, but for the -10 personality penalty, since Styx is a goblin and should have a hard time talking to humans and such. This is also why, for this playthrough, I do suggest avoiding talking and persuading NPCs. I'll get to this in the roleplay guide part of the build. Also, while I did try to make a goblin-looking character, it doesn't really look like Styx. I'm not that really good with the character builder, but I'll share the sliders here anyway for those who want some references. For your Birthsign, I highly suggest using the Atronach. The reason for this is so that you can simulate Styx's reliance on Amber with a stunted Magicka debuff. So instead of gulping bottles of Amber, you'll be drinking Magicka potions so you can use your abilities, aka magic. But if you don't want to deal with the micromanaging of your Magicka, you can choose others like the Shadow or even the Thief for some early bonuses. For the skill setup, you can create a custom class, specializing in stealth to increase those skills to 5 levels. For attributes, I reco agility and speed just to enhance your starting sneak and overall stealth skills. However, I think you can substitute speed with like intelligence for higher Magicka or even put it in luck for a general boost. This will depend if you are fine starting with a slightly slower speed. Now for your major skills. I chose acrobatics since Styx is known to climb on anything that is climbable, plus he overall has great movement. The dodge ability from acrobatics can also help when you get into combat. Second is alchemy since Styx in the games is able to craft gear, potions, and even poisons. So when using alchemy, you do want to focus on crafting health and Magicka potions, which is our alternative to Amber. Also, you can make use of damage health poisons to boost your damage if needed. The next major skill is Blade, since the dagger is Styx's main weapon of choice. This is also why for your sneak attacks, you want to opt to use the dagger instead of the bow, so you will need to get close to enemies. Next is Conjuration. Now this one might be weird, but we are mainly using this so we can reliably cast Summon Scum. This is a play on Styx's ability to create clones of himself. There is also Illusion so we can cast invisibility spells easier. Then the most obvious major skill is Sneak. We want this for higher sneak damage and to remain undetected more reliably. For the last one, I was torn with either security or marksman. You see, in the Styx games, Styx can make use of bolts to take out enemies with one shot, as long as they don't have any helmets. But he can also open locks, and this will be helpful for role-playing a thieving goblin. I did end up choosing marksman. That will become like a secondary weapon skill since I don't really have much of an issue with the lockpicking minigame, and lockpicks are very easy to get. Plus, since you'll be role-playing as a thieving goblin, you should be able to level up security quickly regardless if it is a minor skill. Once you get out into the lands of Cyrodiil, you can then start role-playing as Styx. Now, as a baseline, you are a talking goblin in a world where goblins are monsters and are killed on sight. So you do not want too much attention to yourself, nor do you want to mingle with NPCs. You will only talk to them when it is necessary, which in most cases will be to either sell your stolen items likely to fences or when doing certain quests. When choosing which quests to do, all you have to think about is how much it can benefit you, Styx. Does the quest giver offer a large sum of money? Will you get a valuable item or gear? Or do they amuse you to a point that you want to see how things will play out? Basically, you will be only out for yourself and will not do any hero stuff. For my playthrough, I didn't even think of giving the Amulet of Kings to Joffrey. Instead, I made it my headcanon that Styx will be exploring various cities in Cyrodiil to find the right buyer for the amulet. Additionally, since you're Styx, you will want to have a hideout. Now, since Styx won't be talking to NPCs nor will opt to rent a room in an inn, you will be left with looking for abandoned camps or some random beds in the city. When I started my playthrough, I decided to take Nocoin's Draninus bed, which is located in an alley beside the foaming flask in the Talos district in the Imperial City. This was a nice location where I can get to bed to level up and then quickly get back to stealing from people's homes. Now, once you've leveled up your combat skills a bit, you can then head to Dunbarrow Cove just behind Castle Anvil. This will initiate the Thieves' Den DLC, which gives you an awesome hideout that kind of fits perfectly for this Styx build. You will need thousands of gold to upgrade the place, but since you'll be stealing stuff, you should get a lot of money. Now, despite us being green and looking hideous, we wouldn't be Styx without a hood and a decent fit. So I do recommend doing the Dark Brotherhood initiation quest up to the point where you get the Shrouded Armor set. If you're having a hard time choosing which NPC to kill for the Dark Brotherhood, I recommend to make a role-playing choice. Meaning, since you're Styx, just look for someone who looks at you funny or really is annoying. For my playthrough, I killed Nocoin's Draninus so I can take over his corner in the Talos district. Some other role-playing ways to kill NPCs is when you are infiltrating a house and there is an NPC inside. You can opt to take them out so you can steal in peace. But do be careful since a lot of NPCs don't die from sneak attacks in one hit during the early levels. This is why choosing to off a beggar was easier since they have less HP than normal. For the early levels, mainly around level 1 to maybe 15, you can focus on simply stealing items and infiltrating houses. To effectively manage your inventory, I recommend that you only steal items that are within the 1:10 ratio. Meaning if an item weighs 1 pound, then its value should be 10 or higher. If not, don't take it. This is that you don't get over-encumbered with items weighing 50 tons but are just worth 15 gold or something. During the early levels, you will also want to increase your blade skill. So delving into sewers or just going into dungeons should naturally increase your blade skill. While dungeon diving may seem to not be something that Styx would usually do, you're gonna have to do it to increase your blade skill and ensure that you can sneak attack enemies when needed. Now just a short tip for getting gold. Obviously, the main way is to steal items and sell them to fences. For this, you're gonna have to join the Thieves Guild to get access to fences. But an alternative, which is actually very lucrative at the beginning, is simply stealing alchemy ingredients and turning them into potions. This way, the ingredients lose their stolen status and you can sell them to any merchant. However, you still want your main gold maker to be your thieving activities. Just do this during the early game when you don't have access to fences yet. And that's it for this Styx build. Now, since this is a role-playing build, the rest of the game is up to you. Choose quests and make decisions based on your background and Styx personality. And let a sneaky goblin story unfold before your eyes.